Okay, just going into a little bit more about Derek Johnson, whose Rumble channel is Rattle Trap 1776. These are from his documents. I said if you go under the video to the more, what he writes in, the comment, not the comment section, but under the video where he can put a description, you can find these documents. They're really good. The picture, however, is from Trump's book. When I was in his book, this is when he went to Saudi Arabia. He got some of the best treatment in all these countries. And you have to ask why, because even CNN was like, why are they doing this? Well, because every country wants to be out from under this global elite system, the globalist system. So, Military Justice Act of 2016, the Supreme Court clarifying military laws and courts are separate from civil laws and courts. Yes, they are. Like the media doesn't have a right to know about any of them. The military courts is a completely different justice system. And the other thing he mentions in here, and this is true, is that one of the biggest things that Biden campaigned on was that he was going to close Gitmo. It's still not closed. And when Trump was in, Trump expanded Gitmo. He did. And it's still not closed. So you have to ask yourself, how much power does he really have? And he also mentioned in his video, this Derek Johnson, he said, why doesn't why doesn't Biden have any control over Space Force? He doesn't. And I remember that press secretary just recently being asked something about Space Force, and she said, we would welcome them to come and we could get to know them. Well, why wouldn't they know them if that's part of the federal government? I remember her saying that. So when he mentioned that, I thought that's true. He also he has a letter here Derek Johnson, that he writes to military, because he said that our military's gone soft. They don't understand, what the service is about. Most people, Americans, don't even understand the three branches of governments, and most people in the military don't understand statutes, regulations, orders, all of that. And so he wrote this letter to all veterans. And he said the uniform and the meaning behind the service is life and death. Those who have taken the ultimate sacrifice in that uniform should always be in your thought process when you put it on, wear it, and how you're wearing it. The Military and War Articles was founded first in our nation before the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. Our founders made that precedent. The Revolutionary War and that foundation makes everything from that point forward different from the wars and governments before. Our founders created the military to prevent war, not start it. That uniform and service doesn't mean anything if you do not understand why you're serving. Last I checked, when I swore in, it never mentioned anything about years of service, medical, dental, GI Bill, salaries, retirement, and benefits. Good point. Then he goes on to say, and for the record, all of this freedom of expression needs to be cleared away as well. Everyone wants their free speech, but they do not understand something vital about our foundation and where it is derived. The same founders who created military and government, and to think that just 12 years after the Bill of Rights passage, December 15th, 1791, Marbury versus Madison was having to clarify what a law was. No wonder America looks the way it does in 2023. 12 years after the Bill of Rights, 16 years after the Constitution, 26 years after the Articles of Confederation, 27 years after the Declaration of Independence, and 28 years after the military foundation, James Madison was having to defend what a law looks like. Any statute, quote, any statute that bears the appearance of a law that does not support the Constitution is null and void. Think about everything that's null and void. So if my freedom of speech backs the Constitution, our foundation, our history, our founders, and yours does not, yours is null and void. Yeah, so all that socialist medicine crap, null and void. That's how it works. That's what's made me so mad is people that think that they can just overthrow it, that it's okay for them to align with this whole Agenda 2030. That blows me away. And since we are a nation of laws and orders that support government systems we created, we must keep and maintain the responsibilities of that system in place. That's what this operation and continuation of government is all about, cleaning out corrupt and vile systems that people let falter year after year by getting soft and woke. Our military generals and others aboard this operation knew Americans wouldn't fight for it. And he's right. Americans don't even know who the enemy is. As Trump said in 2022, our gravest threats are not abroad, they're within. Also in 2022, we're cleaning out the festering rot of D.C. Also from Trump, we have it all. We caught them all. Donald Trump said it. Military intelligence and JAG. They knew based on history. See, if one doesn't read or know history, how will they know if it's repeating? Everything has been displayed to you right in front of you, all laid out in laws and orders, and I've got the blueprints, and you can. I said how you can get he has them on his channel. To help you piece the pieces together, if you'll shut up long enough, remove your opinions and your attitudes of what you thought you knew, and read what governs our land. Nothing of which is happening is bad at all. Everything is in full accordance with the laws and orders that support the Constitution. As a United States veteran such as I, you should want to know what's going on and continue your oath and your service beyond service. This operation and continuation of government have all open sources, laws, orders, statutes, acts, codes, optics, and comms. No one can make you read and no one can make you understand. But to ignore, refuse to read and understand, or say it isn't true or not happening will only lead to the exposure of your lack of intelligence, knowledge, and reflect on your service. But let me go ahead and rain on your parade for those who pop attitudes and pull the whole I served 10, 15, 20, 30 years and the chest candy circuit. I don't have this whole sheet. He says there are only 3 things that debunk law and orders, but first the list of things that do not debunk law and orders, opinions and perspectives. Don't be uniforms and no brains. Knowledge is not power. It's the application that's the power. So true. What a wise man. And he's young. It's the application that's the power. I've got a simple and easy blueprint that outlines how Donald J. Trump is still commander-in-chief by the laws, orders, regulations, statute, acts, and codes from both military and federal sectors. Explain to me why the Supreme Court clarified in the Military Justice Act of 2016 that all things military supersede all things civil. Why did they clarify military courts supersede civil courts, and why military personnel are separate? Because that's what's going on. You wouldn't see it in the regular court. Explain to me why military and federal lawyers wrote a brand new law of war manual in 2015 comprised of law of war manuals from the United Kingdom. I read that in my first video. Sorry. Talks about emergency response guidebook. Sorry, I'm almost at the end here anyway. Who passed the Federal Mission Resilience Strategy? It's all that simple. It's a military operation which requires continuity of government, where the military and our allies can operate effectively and efficiently while performing multiple layers and different kinds of missions, as well as all these phases that had to be set up and implemented to run effectively, efficiently well. Derek Johnson.